Okay, back in the saddle, man. Uh, so guess I kind of start off like I started out yesterday. You know, little mini hard copy. Oh, but another thing I don't like about modern day women. You know, y'all got this. Some of y'all got this habit of telling motherfuckers to suck your dick. That shit is not cute at all. Coming out the mouth of a fucking woman is a turnoff. Trust me on this one. I don't know how fine you are. Would you say that shit there? Oh man. You know, I was just thinking about that because for you niggas as well. Now for niggas it's just flat out. And that's one thing I can say I never ever told a nigga. I might tell you to go. Matter of fact, I'll give you one. Nigga ever send that shit my way, some SMD shit my way. Best thing I can tell you is go get your ribs removed and do it your motherfucking self. Cause that's some gay shit right there. You think you disrespected, you really putting yourself in the box with the nigga. I heard some of the best, or some of the niggas that I consider real niggas, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I heard some of the best say this shit. It ain't that serious, bro. Like I said, nigga ever send that shit my way, and I say, nigga, get your ribs removed and do it your motherfucking self. You pussy ass nigga. I just want to get that off my chest one time. When girls stop saying this shit, it's not a good look at all. You know, I know you got a little pearl tongue down there and shit, but let's cut again. Like I said, for the niggas, go get your ribs removed, bitch. Man, I just want to, you know, just know something on my mind. But anyway, just in case a nigga ever, you'd rather get your ribs removed than send that shit my way. But anyway, where were we? Squiggly line. Yeah, I was talking about the whole technology shit. With Bobby, you know, when they had a stroke or whatever. But yeah, but now what I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make was, because at the time I had a pretty cool, that was one of the best jobs I ever had when that shit happened. So I could, you know, send them probably, I could have sent them like a 50 or 100 spot or something, and it wouldn't have really, I wasn't balling out of control, but you know, it was one of the first times I had the best job I ever had or whatever. But it was the technological barrier. Like it was like I'm trying to. I probably had it on my mind, but but that's why I said I had just a similarity I got with the nigga, because it's like that. When it comes to that shit, I have that technology shit. You know, don't get me wrong. It has pros and cons. I'll say the good outweighs the bad. Because they used to say, "Oh, let's get rid of the computers and shit." But the AI shit, I think they should have never gave niggas AI. Because niggas is fake as it is. So now it's all kind of, you don't know what the fuck. Now you never know what the fuck a nigga doctor up around this bitch. I mean, I see guys shooting, you know, making movies and shit with the AI, which is cool too. That's cool. But one thing about that is, from the few I saw, it's don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it, but just in my opinion, you know, keep doing your thing or whatever. I'm not trying to discourage nobody, but one thing I say, I have a different I got an eye for detail. I'm a Virgo, so I got an eye for detail, and just the way shit comes out. One thing I think about that is, see when you see a lot of this shit is hand me down. So when you look at AI, we amazed by the fact we just like anything else. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Go watch. Well, you have to find the episode, but go watch Alice. Great TV. I think it was like in the 70s, 80s, or something like that. Mel Diner. When you hear, when you listen to, I Got a Crush on You, when C say it's my Diner, I'm Mel and you're Alice. That's what he's talking about. But one of the characters, he's the main character. Kinda, he's a recurring. He always, because it's a diner, so he's one of the regulars that patronize the diner. But his job is he's a payphone repairman. Now this is the 70s and shit. That I give you a gym too, but you have to go and find. It's some shit that kind of link me and not problems. Let me see. Never mind. But anyway, yeah, never mind. But anyway, he was one episode where he was repairing the phone, the pay phone in the diner. And he was like, he was talking, I forgot who he was talking to. I think he was talking to Mel or one of them. He was like, excellent show. Then he was like, he said, one day, people are going to be able to they don't carry their phone around in their pocket or some shit like that. Basically, he was saying one day it was going to be cell phones. But this is the 70s and shit. Early 70s, mid 70s or something like that. So they've been having, pretend to do anybody that's, been around any type of scholarship or been knowing that they always like years ahead of us and all this old dumb shit, or however you want to put it. But so even the shit we doing now, iPhones and all that shit, that's probably some more hand me down. But back to the AI. AI is just really some they do it to death, then from handing down us, and they move on to whatever they on to, whatever. But when you look at Hollywood, when you look at real Hollywood movies in the theater and shit, you can tell you'll see the movie, regular movie, but then there be certain aspects where the special effect part come in. You can tell when they start using what in order to bring up to execute the special effect aspect, the special effect aspect. You can tell when they're using the AI. So you have the regular camera film shooting or whatever, and then with some, unless they on point to where you can't. A lot of times you can tell when, especially now. That's why I say I'm more. For whatever reasons, I'd be more in that movies from the 80s and shit, 90s. It'd be some, I don't know, but you can tell when the AI effect thing come in. So what I'm seeing now with the little stuff I be seeing, the movies I'm seeing, I seen some the other day, which was not bad. I'm not dissing it. The only thing about it is, at least for me, you can see. It's like the whole movie is being shot in the same with the whole movie. When you look at theater box office movies, whatever. Like I said, you had a regular movie. Then when the AI shit come in, you can tell that it's AI shit. When you really pay attention to it. But now that they gave the AI, they made it more easy for your common everyday guy to make a movie. By us being so intrigued with being able to use this AI shit or whatever, which is you should, do whatever you can do with the shit or whatever. So I catch up with you, I guess. I have to put that on my list. if I so desire. But I'm also, I know I'm probably getting the right movies and shit, or whatever. Um, but but the but not probably I am. So I do something around it because you know. But anyway, that's so. But I got some badass ideas that blow right past shit I ain't never seen in Hollywood before. But the whole movie looks like, and if that's your thing, cool. But instead of just being like the film, it'd be like the regular movie. Then the special effect part come in, and you can see the AI. But by us getting the hand-me-down aspect and just getting to it, it's like we shooting with niggas or not we, but niggas are shooting the whole movie with that same AI effect. So the whole thing looks like when the AI, instead of just being a regular movie, then the AI shit come in like in the movies. It's like the whole fucking movie is being shot AI, and it gives it like it kind of, in my humble opinion, I'm not no fucking Steven Spielberg or shit like that. But I'm just saying with how it come out to me, it's like it kind of throws me off. Not throw me off, but it's like it just basically what I'm saying. I guess by me knowing that whole that movie, but by me knowing that movie, seeing in a regular movie when the AI come in, and then when I see what we doing now or niggas is doing now, they shooting the whole movie in the AI effect. It kind of throws it off a little bit. It looks a little, it's a teensy weensy bit cheesy to me. Because even when you watch it in regular movies, sometimes if the shit ain't done right, you be like, oh, that kind of looked a little cheesy or whatever. Nah, just my opinion or whatever. But so I would personally say don't get to it. Because I'm looking at it, because I'm seeing it. All the shit I done seen being shot in the eye or whatever. A few, just one or two, two or three things I done saw that all had that same look or whatever for that camera. But anyway, take it. But anyway, but yeah. But yeah, that nigga fucked me up that squiggly line shit. That so much that I had to go look and see what the fuck is this nigga talking about the squiggly line anyway. But cause I didn't know what he was referring to. But like I said, by me being, I don't want to necessarily say anti-computer or anti-technology, the mere fact, like I said, it was just every time I heard something, I'd be listening to the different lecturers or speakers or whatever, it was always, oh, he's doing good, people are donating, woo, woo. So I guess that kind of was the thing too, but now somebody was like, man, ain't nobody helping him, woo, 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 woo. I'm like, oh no, okay, let me get this damn, so many words I'm not the, it took, you see, like I said, I just got the fucking Cash App shit 2 years ago or whatever. When did I start? Anyway, but yeah. But that all stemmed from the joke. I was like, well, damn. But the joke about niggas. When I was talking to Cash App, niggas, when I put my Cash App up, and niggas just left a nigga high and dry. That's all good though, baby. No, he ain't worried about it. So yeah, let's get back. But yeah, I pretty much, you pretty much knew he was good though Cause I was saying in the last video, I was saying all that was shit, man. I'm talking shit about niggas not sending me a cash out, but I ain't even get to send my boy nothing when he was fucked up or whatever. And I didn't see, or heard him go through some wild shit. He did some mislections, some of his story he went through. But I was saying he was like, at the beginning of his career, he wasn't like me. He was like, man, I wasn't necessarily worried about the money. He was just doing his thing. Because that's what he was saying. He was like, he was charging. Of course, you're going to charge. You going out, getting on planes and shit. And, going from town to town, city to city, state to state. Of course, you're going to charge some type of fucking fee to lecture or whatever. I would too, but he was saying how he didn't charge that. He was like, it was other guys that was charging big numbers, and he was like, he didn't really he didn't really get into he didn't really want to charge too much. And then he thought more and more, he's like, I guess like halfway through his career, he was like, that nigga was like, man, hold up, fuck this shit, nigga needs to have to lift it up a little bit or whatever. It might have hit, but yeah. But niggas I said all that to say niggas will niggas spend their hard earned to go on frivolous shit. But they want well, I can't say it either. That'd be painting too broad of a brush, but anyway, let me move on. Fuck that shit. But anyway, so yeah. Like one more thing while we here, and then I can take back into the documentary. But cause one of them loose ends I want to tie up. But when I was speaking about hip hop and rap, and I was saying it was basically like girls who you ever seen that? Like I said, you ever seen that one girl who wasn't really? She may not have been that hot. In her freshman year, and then in summertime she get a little spurt, and that next year, all of a sudden, because see that's the beauty, that's the danger of beauty. See, you go from, you might have been looked over one part of your life, then when you get that. When niggas start paying attention to you, all of a sudden now you hot shit and you too hot to try. I've seen it with my own eyes. In the experience. That's why I'm glad I got a healthy all from having them flocking me to my down slumps, and 1 minute she loves me, 1 minute she doesn't, and all that shit, because I got to see get the whole spectrum of how women psych go when it comes to the birds and the bees. And one thing I've noticed is you will have a 9th grade year, shot be digging a nigga, whatever, but she might not be as hot as she's gonna be. She might be on a nigga road. You might, have her. Then 2-3 years later, that same chick, you might double back. Y'all stop talking or whatever happened. Some people go their own way sometimes and come back around. And you come back around, you're like, what's up, shot? And it ain't be me, because I don't never front. I'm a real down-to-earth nigga, so I don't, but, and you come back around to it, all of a sudden, she too fly for you. What's up, baby girl? She's like, she capping. When I'm saying capping, we talking about, there was different bilingual, different. Capping doesn't mean lying. We were saying capping, we was meaning acting too good or with your nose up or you know, shit like that. Hi-hat, I'm hi-hat, I'm up here and you down there. So you will see, but that's what happened. That's what hip hop. I'm saying all to say that's what rap did. I don't know if I fully explained that when I first said it 2 or 3 videos ago, but I want to make sure I tied it in. That's what I was trying to say. What happened to hip hop? Because the shit y'all be saying, he's a brokey and all that shit. You know, in the '90s, you probably niggas would have been looking at you like, hey, you're a sellout. Like, when did we start doing that? You know, of this whole concept of, because like I said, we cut from a cloth where we would say once you got to a certain level of fame or wealth or whatever, and you start looking down on people that who still lagging or back where you came from, we would say you forgot where you came from. That's what happened with rap, collectively speaking. I don't want to double down on that because I know I said that before in another series or whatever, but I just want to put it on there again, just to put it on your mind. Because your ass can fall off and be a brokey and be somewhere fucked out too and flipping burgers and shit. And then what? You did? Yeah, I just, you know, that I got love for you, but you know, I just be trying to show these young niggas. I ain't talking about nobody in particular. I'm talking about the culture where it stands in general today. That's another sign this shit is too far gone, or whatever. You know, a motherfucker that's clowning the poor, you know they ain't coming back to try to help in no kind of way. So, if we let the youth get into that mentality, you know goddamn well they get somewhere. Because you know what I'm saying, we come from here where it's like we just automatically would have a thing where we be like, this motherfuckers on. Now we know these motherfuckers ain't whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. You from my area, you know what I'm talking about. You know them motherfuckers. You know some motherfuckers that's shitting on the poor ain't gonna try to help the poor around this motherfucker or have a mentality of getting the think tank saying, well, what can we do to establish better living conditions for our people in general, as opposed to just everybody get up here going to fucking running to the high hills of California or some shit, and looking down on them motherfuckers who ain't, you know, still in the hood and shit or whatever. So yeah, yeah. But anyway, I had one more thing to say, but I'll hold that. I'll start off that with the next one and really get in it. Well, I wish I had a longer, so I fucking record more on this shit. So, but anyway, we'll get to it. But so anyway, now we get into I'm gonna have to watch it again. I don't know why I wrote this down, but we'll get to this guy right here, Willie Ninja. Now this guy here is interesting. I think I said it already, but we'll get back into it. Now for one, his dream was to go to Japan or whatnot and do whatever he do. Now that ties into Lefty, because Left Eye, first and foremost, he looked like he's related. If you look at him and if you look at Left Eye and Raindrop, he kind of looked like Raindrop a little bit. He looked more so like her. If you look at him and then look at her, but he looked like he could be related to them. And I was telling you, she got that the Japan connection through the Amaterasu thing. So that's one thing or whatnot. Now, when you hear him break down his name, see, this is the shit that you may think this nigga just talking or whatnot, but they look at this shit like, Now this guy here, when he started breaking down his name, like you said, how ninjas move swift and let me see if I wrote it down. Okay, I didn't write down exactly what he's saying, but he was just breaking down why he named himself Willie Ninja. For one, putting himself in the fucking warrior. Even if he's just speaking within ball walking and voguing and whatnot. But he's putting himself within the fuck was that? He's putting himself within that nigga might be coming right now and shit. You seen that shit? So I'm saying? That shit kinda remind me of anyway, but yeah. So but first and foremost, ninja means nigga as you look at. That's why you got different colored outfits of ninja, but you know the real ninja is the black stealth ninja, dressed in all black or whatever. Ninja, Ja means God. Then you have a lot of deities. You can look at that like ninja. You got a lot of deities with that name, Ninurta, the knee, which is the knee of Isis, knee and Ja. You look at the word of knee and Ja. The knee of the mother in God would be Ja or Horus or Haru, Ninja. With the black is the melanin. You know they, with the black mask, all black attire, whatever. I'll show you a bad map. I'll give you a bad motherfucker. Go watch. There's two different names. You go watch Super Ninjas. It was called Super Ninjas when I was growing up, but it was Super Ninjas, the five elements, bad motherfucker karate movie. But watch the ninjas in that motherfucker. Bad motherfucker. Watch when them niggas come through. Don't watch that shit. You'll see melanin when you see one part. There you go watch that shit. That was a bad motherfucker, but now they was saying he was one of the best voguers out there or whatever, right? And this goes back to what I was telling y'all about the way elite. When I was watching him do his thing, first and foremost, now you have to pay attention to what I'm saying before you get offended, because it's just dig what I'm saying. Now remember I told you that the faggot thing means tree. A faggot means tree trunk or bark or whatever, right? Okay. I'm saying that in the sense of that, not in the sense of calling a gay dude a faggot, which goes back to something too. When you go to that one part when they talk about how they be throwing they be reading each other or whatever, right? Or reading is just like talking shit, ranking on them, or talking shit back and forth to each other. So I think it was the Dorian dude. He said, now mind you, I told y'all this shit before I even saw this documentary. Remember now, I think I said this shit in the Mad Max video. But he said when they be going at battling each other with the reading thing, he said you can't call another trans or queen or whatever because you be stating obvious. That is just what it is. So that wouldn't be an insult. Same shit I said. Go back. I can't remember what I said. I think it was in the Mad Max thing. But go watch. Same thing I said about the faggot shit. Like I wouldn't call her. If I wouldn't refer to. I don't even call, when I say that word, I don't ever even say it in regards to a guy that's really gay. That's some shit niggas say to so-called straight man. You never know what these mark to piss him off or whatever. But a nigga would never say that to. But if I was to, but I don't even, I think I would say some shit be antiquated. So to me, now in the 80s or the 70s or something, somebody will probably call a gay guy that, not even trying to disrespect him, just out of that word being associated with gay men or whatever. But when he said that's the same thing I was saying about the word fag. It was like I wouldn't even say that in regards to it, because it'd be like, just how would that be a disrespect when it's just stating obvious? If we thinking about the word faggot in regards to a gay man, it would just be, you call it like, so it's just like the word nigga. The only way that word would come in as offensive to a gay dude is the fact that you trying to offend him, not that you calling him what he is, but he know that even if the word doesn't make him mad, even if you calling him that doesn't make him mad. That's what I'm saying. It's a psychosis thing. The fact that he knows you're trying to make him mad is the point. Just like what I'm saying about the word nigga. We all niggas. Niggas is who we are. But if some racist white guy calls you a nigga or nigger, you not necessarily tripping off the fact. That's why you be like, well, that's why when they say, well, y'all call each other that, why we can't say it, or why is it a problem when we say it? It's a problem because we know you saying this shit with the intention. Do nothing without intention. Nothing. But it's the intention that you behind the word. Just like when you do magic, it's the intention behind the shit. So it's the intention behind what the fuck you doing. It ain't the fact of that's why I tell niggas step it up. And, you want to sock a nigga out, sock a white boy for calling you a nigga, you still can have at it. Because who knows? I might, but I'm trying to, do the spirituality shit. You try to put yourself in a level where words really, you know what I'm wrong with this. You try not to engage physically or whatever, out of an attempt to, or out of trying to avoid getting too egotistical or egotism or whatever. I was telling y'all about the karate master shit or whatever. But you may very well sock a motherfucker lights out for calling you that shit. But I would say, if you can bring yourself to a level where when a white boy say you nigga, you like, yeah, I'm a fucking nigga. If you knew what a nigga was, you'd want to be one too, which is the truth. So, but they speak on this when they was talking about the going back and forth with each other, or whatever, with the reading thing. But when I saw him, but the thing about it, you gotta see, I think he did this intentionally. When you seen him voguing and that shit, this nigga was on point. He was like this shit, when he was, I think it was the same scene when he was voguing. Either he was saying it or somebody in the background was describing what voguing was, and he was saying it's basically, I think he was doing it, but I think it was Dorian who was saying it's basically the same as hieroglyphics. So you see how these motherfuckers, you ain't no fucking idiots. Because he's right. You see them doing all that shit, and, that's damn near, you look at them, now, voguing is associated, now I know this much, I didn't know house music was necessary. I knew, eventually you start seeing how to make the connection, because you see a lot of the house and the British that was one of the things that kind of drew the connection when the nigga finally started really putting two and two together, was through the voguing. Because a lot of times when voguing became popular, niggas would vogue to house music and shit or whatever, or people would vogue to house music. But the voguing and shit, when they doing all that shit there, that's damn near like pantomiming Charlie Chaplin, not Charlie Chaplin, but pantomiming or whatever. It's the old, you know that, you know that's like that's why you always see them in pantomiming is when basically a reference to when the when the earth, when all the energy goes out of the sphere of the earth, and you got the black surface of the earth and the white moon. That's why they dress in the black moon, and they free just like when the. I didn't think I was trying to pull this out, but here we go again. But when all this, when you know, same old thing, we going through it, but when all this go up and comes up here, and you got the white dome right here, and you got the melanated black bottom right here, white, black, and everything freezes. That's what the pantomime and shit come from. They freeze, you know, they freeze, you know, every move they stop. That's where that shit comes from. So that's what it came to mind when I saw him in Vogue and shit. He was hitting that shit. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I may not be in the Vogue and shit. And, you know, they think majiggy, but like I said, the same way I can, by me, the same way somebody like me who's not necessarily part of that culture, that world, the same way I can look at that shit and say, yeah, it's something. I may not be into it like that, but I can still see the talent in it, you know what I'm saying? And I can see the connection to it, the hieroglyphs, you know, walk like an Egyptian. And that shit came out around the same time, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, that walk like an Egyptian shit. But, that, the little shit like that, so you won't think that's something. You know, you probably overlook it, but somebody that's studying you from afar to see if your ancient culture is crawling up out of your DNA, melanated DNA, you know, your old shit is coming online, you know, that emo tip energy coming back online and shit, you know, that, put it like that, I'm glad I said that. It might be coming through the emo tip. But when you go watch the first Mummy, show you how they reverse the game. Same way I was telling y'all about cancer and how they take a word that's positive and flip it to a negative and make you associate the word with a negative sentiment. Just like emo tip. When you look at the first Mummy, or the Mummy period, every time you watch the Mummy is the bad guy. When the first Mummy was emo tip. Emotep is a god, deity. He's if you go study who Emotep really is, and then you go watch the Mummy after that, you would say, well, why would they take a guy like that who was not no fucking bad person, no shit like that, and make him a villain in the Mummy movie or whatever? Yeah, the crazy shit about that Mummy shit, bro, is the last one I saw was when I can't remember what it was about. I think your boy was in it, Tom Cruise. The phone is the phone that I originally took the pictures of Sirius with. I saw that a little bit of it. I fell asleep on it, so I never got to see all of it. And then when I woke up, I forgot I went to go do something, and that's when I lost the fucking phone. That same night, but when that one came out, the one that came out like in 2017 or something like that. But it was like if I'm not mistaken, that shit was there was an ancient mummy that was over there in Europe somewhere. And then they shipped it to America, and all hell broke loose or whatever. Now Bobby them was speaking about that, but he spoke about that shit like somewhere in the '90s. They had I think a King Tut exhibit or something. Now I went to cause I remember hearing Bobby speak about the King Tut exhibit, and he was like, "Man, if that shit come to your city, go to it." And just about a year after I've seen the election, maybe a couple months, the King Tut exhibit came to this motherfucker, and I went. It was pretty cool or whatever. But I remember him saying, I don't know, it wasn't that one, because I think that the election, he said the shit he was already out when they came, but he was saying it was one the exhibit that came over here. Well, they said it was shit. Basically, they said it was hell. They had the mummy over there in Europe. First and foremost, they already in violation because they stole the shit from the graves and shit. They violated from that off the top, just to put the shit in museums and shit. So they say they sent the fucking. And it could have been the one I was, but I don't think so. I think if I'm not mistaken, the one I went to, they didn't have the actual fucking mummy. It was like a fucking. They had a whole lot of other shit from that his era in there. I think they got his tomb or whatever, but I don't think they had the real mummy in that motherfucker, if I'm not mistaken. But they say Europe shipped that shit over here because shit was shit happening over there. And they were like, you know what? It's probably this fucking mummy, because they snapped that it was a curse on the mummy or some shit, or they were cursed for stealing the fucking mummy shit. So they sent it over here, and whatever. And then everywhere they said everywhere it would come over, it would go over here. That's why I said I don't think it was the one I went to, or probably I think the reason the one I went to didn't have the fucking real mummy was because when they had the real mummy, prior to that, probably I was locked up or some shit, every city it went to, there was shit popping off in that motherfucker. And I can believe that shit because they were supposed to take them shits out the graves and shit anyway or whatever. Now it serves a purpose for us still, because although they did the grave robber thing, it fucked them up for not doing this shit, but we still, it gave, I say when they do some fucked up shit, it still kind of always served us in a good way in some form of fashion, because it became a part of a way of us learning and whatever or whatnot about certain things. But even that's giving them probably giving them a little too much, because the same shit you find in the fucking graves and shit that we learning about, they got shit on the walls and shit that wasn't buried in the graves and shit that we could learn the same shit from or whatever. But I know I need to go back and watch. I never finished watching that goddamn movie. I fell asleep on it. And that same night is when I lost my fucking phone. Weird shit. But anyway, but you looking at the shit like, you probably, if you was to see it and with the conscience of some regular person, they're just like, oh, this nigga just on that gay shit. They looking at this shit like, emo tip coming back. That's, emo tip in the movie is that ain't, that's why I say that shit line right up. Emo tip, that ain't nothing but Candyman, Freddy Krueger, all that shit's the same shit. Ancient evil returning. That shit comes from a part of their cycle of them fearing retribution for all the shit that they've done. And to black people in general, but in the case with the mummy, the mere fact you even fucked with the group dug that shit about the grave when you really were supposed to do that was a violation. They were supposed to do that shit. So I think that's why when I went, they didn't actually have the actual mummy. It was like a recreation of it or some shit like that. But they had real statues from the era though. Like they had the real statue of Ptah and a real statue of Ptah. Crazy part about it, I think they like me, because it was a black statue, I think. But you know, the white. When you see the Muslims with that, with the kufi, that comes from Qatar. That is not exclusive to the pale Arab. That's nigger shit. It comes from Egypt. You see statues of Qatar, he has a cap on. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was the one I saw, the statue I saw, it was all black and it had he had the white cap on. I don't know where my damn ticket is. I need to try to get back to my old Facebook page because I got all that shit. The ticket. I took a picture of the ticket and put it on my. So that's why technology is good too. Cause I don't know what like when I started moving and that from house to house and shit. Dad lost a lot of shit. I don't know what. I don't know why the fuck I keep looking over there like it's over there and shit, but I know it over there, but I kept the ticket up because I remember that's one of the things that nigga Bob was like, man, that shit come to your city, go to it, and I went and shit. I remember because that's when Lauryn Hill, around the same time Lauryn Hill had came to town, and the concert went too far from where the museum was at, but I got the same vibes when I saw him hitting them poses and shit. Now I'm not a Vogue specialist and shit, so you know, but that's the thing about it. By me, I'm not a Vogue would be the best nigga to come get the critique Vogue in particular. But just looking at the way how he was moving, if you just say, well, put it like this, if you just take it out of the context of calling it Vogue, it damn near resembles pop locking. If you look at it, like a different version of pop locking. But that nigga, the way he was hitting the moves, the shit did look otherworldly. It looked magical. I'll take you back to the faggot thing. When he was, it was one. This shit looked magical. That's damn near like he did this shit on purpose. The way the sun was hitting, and he was right by. He was hitting that shit, but he was right by a tree. Like I said, another term for the tree trunk is punk or whatever. So it was damn near like he was shooting a slug, like that's how it to be. But the way he was hitting the moves, I said, yeah, that boy got some magical shit going on right there. It reminded me of how I felt when I was doing when I went back and watched the videos for Aaliyah, and when I had to, looking at the way she was moving, I was like, yeah, that's that other worldly shit that spooked them out. You know, and it's like they say when like animals attack you, like bears and shit, or you know, they say when animals attack you, they not attacking you out of Billy badasses. You think that, you know, they just on some shit, but they say actually when bears and shit, tigers attack. Well, I remember them saying about bears in particular. And they either doing it out of hunger or fear that you trying to do something to them or whatever. Like I said, people fear what they don't understand, so they looking at you like they don't understand you, or they don't. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that must be old Willie Ninja coming home through. I think it is too. That nigga, he came through and spoke to me a few times, but yeah. So just in case you think I'm just sitting here bullshit, you see what's going on there. Same thing with them. Once you start doing some otherworldly shit that they are picking up on, but can't put a finger on, fear rises. I think Dr. Wilson spoke on that ISIS paper. I think that's where I first learned that at. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's where I got that from. That's really one of the first books that opened me up to consciousness too. But I always say that. So she changed my life. That book changed my life too. but I think I put more emphasis on Tony Broader book because that's the book that really made me realize that we are the gods or we are the deities or whatever. But she was the precursor to that. That and Chancellor Williams with but Chancellor Williams was more so man, where the fuck is my book at anyway? That shit. Let me not do that. Wait, make up my goddamn hell yeah. The fuck is my book at? But Chancellor Williams, Destruction of Black Civilization. But what was I going with that? But yeah, I think that's where I got that from. Francis Chris Wilson. It's crazy, man, because that's my block. When I represented Raven Crest, CREST, but CRESS, her middle name is CRESS, but it's just that's how I know I have a connection for it. She always wore that. She on her Marv the leather woman, Marvin, man, because she always had that Panther, that Black Panther leather shit on. So shout out to Miss Wilson, man. Yeah. So when you thinking these niggas ain't no magical shit, go watch how watch how this nigga was voguing and shit. And then, like I said, the way he was talking about how he's like a ninja move swift, and he basically telling you he patterned his style after ninja moves. He's the ninja Gaiden of the gay world, off the wall. Shit, you say Ninja Gaiden, old school Nintendo game. Nigga be jumping, kind of like Spider-Man, be jumping off the wall like, but he's a ninja or whatever. But yeah, that was Dorian who said that. But we was by the tree doing the pose. Just look at that scene. Just look at how that scene is shot. That shit looks magical. And then when you look at when he was doing, that's where it said, I got it written down right here. When he was doing it, Dorian was the one that said it takes from the hieroglyphs. See, he was the OG of all that shit. Really, him. I think Willie Ninja was a little younger than him and Pendavis guys, but him and Pebble LaBeija and the guy from the House of Venus, you can tell the them three was like the OGs or whatever of the thing. So he's hitting it, but he's telling like, you can tell he got some fucking knowledge himself because he was like, this takes from the hieroglyphs, blah, 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 blah. So this nigga wasn't just no fucking idiot. He knew what the fuck he was talking about. So, like I said, you understand, like, they took Malcolm out because he was about Black Power ball out. Same shit with these guys. You like, they took them out for the same reason. It's just that it was more of a, you probably wouldn't look at it like the same thing with Pac. See how they dress it up. Same thing with Pac. You think Pac just died on some fucking colors and shit, or Game ain't no Pac died because he was a fucking red. Pac died for the same reason. They killed Pac for the same reason they killed Malcolm and Martin and all other revolutionary fighters and shit. But you think he just died over some gang bang and shit. Oh, they paid the Crips to do it and all that sort of stupid shit. And there's really some deeper shit than that. You don't even shit. One of the only niggas that actually came out and seen. That's why Big Psych. Shout out to my nigga Psyche, man. It's the psychedelic one. That's why Psych was one of the. I think when he first died, first and foremost, anybody who was a part of the revolution or has a revolutionary mind state or liberator type mind state, you gonna automatically, just by him coming from the Panther background, you gonna automatically and paired with all the shit he was going through, you're not gonna get caught up in all the fucking hoorah they put around it. You gonna be like, cut the bullshit. White folks had something to do with that because that boy was about some fucking freeing his people and he didn't have no fucking fears. This nigga would speak on He didn't give a fuck. You ain't seen a nigga like Pac really crazy boy Pop. And you have to ask me before I was in the rap industry, a nigga that stood in the music industry and gave the business. You ain't seen a nigga like that since shit. The last nigga do that shit really was probably Kanye. You probably won't make the connection, but that's what I feel. Like that nigga, you know, before the nigga that was, you know, you had underground cast, a nigga that was on a pedal, like a in the eye on the mainstream level. Now, don't get me wrong, you got guys who may not have reached that level of celebrity that he did in the cuts and shit like that. But as far as a nigga who took it there and didn't give a fuck and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna stand right here as one of the biggest stars in the fucking world and still kick off this goddamn revolutionary talking shit," it's him and Ye. You two niggas you could tell that just couldn't hold shit in, or could, George Bush doesn't like black people. That's not, you can't make no shit. That's some, you can tell when that nigga said that shit, it was like, I'm not sitting around for the bullshit without saying nothing. You could tell it was a nigga that was like, you could tell his mind was like, I know I might lose some sponsors or some shit behind this. I'm not gonna just sit here and not say this shit. That's his whole MO to me, And then when you listen to the first album, like I say, that part of him is slept on me. Even but I was locked up when this shit first came out, so I didn't know much about what he was speaking on the album. I just knew. Now, a few of the singles that came out, I heard while I was locked up. He'd say things that a few slick lines. I was like, okay, he had some type of social, political consciousness about him to what degree or another. But then when I heard the album, I think it was the first one or the second one. One of them, I said, oh yeah, he been on some shit. So much so that not saying I was necessarily surprised when he did the George Bush thing, but it would have been a little bit more respected if I would have heard the album. I'd be like, okay, but when he did, I saw it. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. So, but yeah, the Doors, they say, takes from the hieroglyphics. I'm gonna tie this back. I was finna say it here, but I ain't gonna. I'm gonna wait because this Donna come in with this right here that I saved for her. When I get back to the fever, but anyway. Okay, so yeah. Now I can see, because I was kind of, I took out in notes because I was wondering about the title of the documentary, and I was wondering where did that come from? Was that like, because that could have been very well an attack. I didn't know, or I didn't know if it came from the guys who was actually doing the actual guys who was featured in the documentary, or they came to them and said, we're doing a documentary called Paris is Burning. But right here he said, well, he talks about making the real Paris burn. And when he said that, they started showing like Asian statues and whatnot, taking it back to the Japan thing. And I've been on a lot of Japan mythology lately, a lot too. Like I say, take it back to the House of Pendarvis guys, Kim Ping being the Jigaku, talking about the hell thing or whatever. And so, what I was trying to get to, this is one of them loose ends. I think one of the things I left loose. But what I was trying to say was, with the hell thing, Christianity limited our well, I think I did, but something else I want to add too. I think I did close it off, but Christianity gave us a limited understanding of hell. We go to Arabia, ancient Islam, and I think when I say Islam, I think this should come from like Orthodox Islam, but they got hell's very. See, right now I take that back. put it like this: these motherfuckers, they hell shit is different. And I don't ever hear Muslims speak about this, but they got hell for everybody. Christians got a hell. Anything that ain't like, it's like they got hells for different versions of shit that's outside. That's why see the bias in this shit. They got a hell for the Jews. They got a hell for the Christianity. They got separate hells for these motherfuckers. Like, I'm like, these niggas here is crazy. But it goes to bear witness to what I was saying about how limited now when you go to Japan and shit, they don't have hells for different spiritual systems, but they got hells for different offenses or whatever, or whatnot. The hells to send you to the different levels of hell depending on what you did or what kind of and if I had to just to not to get too deep in it, but because at the end of the day, really the hell like when I take the concept that they have, the concepts of hell that they have, and pair them with how things work as far as like chemically with the reincarnation thing, because really that's the truth thing. You come down here, if you don't learn, you come back down here. You go. That's the real. If you want to look at it as a punishment or whatever. But the different versions of hell may be based on whatever it is that's keeping you from learning what you need to learn to get to a level to where when you're free from the body, you could at least have a choice on whether you want to come back or not, as opposed to just getting sucked back down here. Whatever kept you from learning what you learned will be the same thing that draw you back. That's why I say the heart, you can't let you have to be light. Your heart has to be light as a feather, because if you too bogged down in the physical world, the things that you could have, don't get me wrong, don't be down. That's what I'm saying. I be looking at guys that's in Orthodox religion. I be like, man, y'all niggas missing out on a lot of fun for nothing. You run around this bitch talking about, I don't smoke weed, I stopped listening to rap, and I don't fuck with the hoes no more. And I'm like, man, it's not even about that, bro. You are robbing. You need to be doing that shit. Because it ain't even about all that shit. You're robbing yourself of a good time based on some bullshit. The true thing is not being too physical to the point where even having a fear of death, you want to get to a point where you're first and foremost, I'm not saying go jump in the fucking fire or some shit like that, or shoot yourself in the head. We ain't talking about that. We saying alleviate that fear that the average person has of dying. And I'm not saying be willing to die, let a motherfucker just come and blow your motherfucking head off, no shit like that, without fighting or no shit like that. But what I'm saying is, the first step is just to alleviate yourself of a fear of death, period. Because that same fear of not wanting of dying could be the same thing that brings you right back to this motherfucker. And who's to say, now when you take this golden age thing of where we going to the thing about reincarnation now, well, I think it's a little too early now. But eventually, reincarnation is not going to be what we think bad as we think it is now. Because the earth isn't going to be as fucked up. Now, we still in the process of emerging out of the bullshit, but eventually, see, what makes reincarnation fucked up now, what's so scary right now is the world has been ran so raggedy. It's to the point to where that's why you hear Bobby them be like, "Dying, come back, I'm ready to leave," and all this other shit, because the world really is a school. Really, that's how it originally started. Before everything was all fucked up and nihilism kicked in and shit. Now, to me, in my take, nihilism is a result nihilism and the shit you hear with the Gnostics, all that, the body is the filth and all this old shit or whatever. I don't too much take it. I get it. Don't get me wrong. You know, the soul is pristine, and you do fall asleep or die. Your soul goes to sleep when it falls into the body. But this, all this shit is happening for a reason. We can't be around this motherfucker talking about fuck the physical and all this shit when we created this shit. There ain't no fucking y'all the Rolf and that's your ego. Y'all the Rolf is we created this shit. The gods or the deity, whatever you want to call it. It's just the physical part of us. It's the worker that built this shit. Now you come down here and that's all you know. The physical worker is the part that's attached to the physical. If you get down here and the only part of you that you're conscious of is the physical part, that's when you're fucking up there because you're only gonna be dealing with the five senses. You're not gonna be aware of the divine within you. See, the earth is like, see what the white man did was, look, I'm gonna give you this channel I got. And not from no particular, I can't remember what I was on, but let me give you a channel real quick. About 2 weeks ago. Now watch how this shit played out. I'm gonna give you step by step how they come through thoughts. I'm gonna show you how this shit played out. But let me say this first and I'll get back to that. Right now, 50 to 100 years from now, maybe even 40 years from now, what we're doing now is we're in the beginning stages of turning, of giving Earth a makeover, an upgrade, so to speak. So much so to the point where, because right now we so used to the Earth being fucked up. That's why you have schools of thought like nihilism and Gnosticism, or why it's big emphasis put on not coming back to this motherfucker. Why I see this shit is eventually it's gonna be to the point to where this shit gonna be like a fucking carnival or some shit. If you do decide you can chill in the spirit realm for however long, you like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go down there and fuck around on Earth for about 60 years and have some fun and then come back, maybe go back, because this is, if the Earth is going through an upgrade, then it means it's gonna be better. That means you might look like right now. If motherfuckers, a lot of motherfuckers would dread to come back, because you come back down this bitch, you gotta first and foremost, you might have asshole. You might come through asshole parents. You might have to go through a whole lot of, the world's so fucked up, you're more prone to have to go through bullshit just to get to the state where you realize that you're God again and all this, blah, blah, blah. But that's because, let me segue into what I was going to say with the channel. And I was sitting in the porch a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, okay, right now this shit, the white man, this shit always been a school. So that once upon a time, the shit I'm telling you now, it was like that, like coming to Earth when you come down here because everything was set up to where it wasn't fucked up to where you had to worry about how you was gonna eat and am I gonna end up being a slave and you fuck around and get 50 years and framed and end up doing 60 years and shit you ain't do and all that shit because the crack the Earth wasn't ran by evil force. So you would come down here just on a learning mission. It started getting fucked up when the what's that fucking guy name? We always talk about Sid, but I try to take it out to give you another version because you got a herd monster, which is the positive, which is taking over right now. A herd monster, that's Hebrew, same shit. Osirian realm or whatever you want to call it. Angry, that's what it was. We're coming out of the angry Manu age or whatever. Angry Manu basically just put it in Christian terms, the devil running the world for 6,000 years. Coming back down here with this motherfucker running the world, what the motherfucker say, anything goes in a place like this. That's why you got shit like nihilism and Gnosticism, fuck the earth and all this old shit, but you can't get stuck in that because at the end of the day, we built this motherfucker. But I ain't just thinking, y'all the brought from all that shit and the ego. That shit is just what's the word I'm looking for? Those are just mythological tales to explain shit or whatnot. So but the Earth is a fucking school. What happened is, that's what it was. I was thinking, I was like, I said the white man's rule is he's a ghost, and really his rule is really over. Even though you still see him in office or what the government or whatever you want to call it. I want to just put the government and all this shit, whatever. Really, that shit is like a shell, because he's a shell himself. So he's like that's like probably where that shit comes from, Ghost in the Shell or some shit. But he's a shell. His rule is a shell. That's why now really he rules through the only way he rules now is the main thing he got right now is you living according to the way he wants you to live. All that, we just say pseudo white supremacy, all that shit that pseudo white supremacy put in place. That's the last thing left of his rule is you, us. That's why I say all this simple shit like looking down on motherfuckers because they broke and shit like that. This aristocratic mentality, that's one example of it. That's a result or ramification of his rule of pseudo white supremacy. He's a ghost. What he did was, and not just him, really, he's a step down. It started with niggas. Niggas fucked up niggas, then he was a result of fucked up niggas. We ain't gonna take that out. And who's the fucked up niggas? Well, the descendants of them fucked up niggas who started all this bullshit off, you still see them around here. We call them fuck niggas today. Take your pick. But I was on the porch, I was like, this shit is a ghost. He's a shell, a ghost. All this motherfucker did was take the earth, which used to be a pristine place already, and turn it into a school that used to be a good school, or decent school, or whatever you want to call it, and turn this motherfucker into East Side High. That was the first line. And I said, you know what, that makes sense, because then when you look at the fucking East Side High football team, what the motherfuckers was called? Ghost. You see how that shit kind of, I was thinking, I said, this motherfucker is really just a fucking ghost. A shell of a fucking rain. I said, this motherfucker really just, the earth was really a school. I'm just sitting pushed it around. I think I was smoking or something. And I said, this shit is like, this nigga ain't do nothing but turn the earth, which was a school, in the East Side High. No, you got this shit, man. So I can know where to start back off there. But I said, this nigga ain't do nothing but take the earth and turn this shit into East Side High. Which is why I tell niggas, I am a gangster. I am a soldier. I am a warrior. You thinking I'm just trying to be tough and, you look at his pretty eyes. He ain't no thug. And that bitch told me one time, they call him bitch, he's a hoodwink. And I just don't think I'm just saying this shit because I'm trying to be cool. It's like, no, motherfucker. This is East Side High. If you go look at Lean on Me, what type of mentality you think you need to survive in fucking East Side High? You think you going East Side High on some Steve Urkel shit? You gonna make it out that bitch without getting your lunch money took and rabbit ears and turned upside down, hitting your fucking face, putting the toilet bowl and shit? So you ain't want to like Steve Urkel? Or you want to go on that bitch on some gangster shit? With your butterfly knife in your fucking pocket, to pistol if possible and shit. I'm going with the butterfly knife. Fuck that shit. I ain't come for trouble. I just came to learn, but I know they got a few niggas that'll bang your fucking cold part about it. Now think about it. The one nigga, one of the gay niggas in the this is totally isolated. One of the niggas looked like, remember the nigga that got his head banged out on in East Side, the SAI, in Puerto Rico or something. One of the guys in the damn documentary of Paris Burning looked like the motherfucker. Willie Ninja probably was the one who transporting this shit to the. I watched this shit when I said that. I can't remember. But anyway, this shit is Eastside High now. So we went from comedic flowers and, you know, eating mana and shit, and, you know, talking to the animals and sniffing flowers and all that shit, to Eastside High. Bring your goddamn dope man Uzi. Shit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm the Joe Clark of this motherfucker. Crazy Joe. Yeah. Stop right